Di, and I wanted to share today kind of our general plans for our Orlando and Walt Disney World vacation, and also talk a little bit about why our vacation is maybe a little bit slightly different than the majority of the people that would be going down there, and talk about how that kind of impacts some of our decisions. And then in tomorrow's video, I'm very excited to share what I would maybe do differently if some of those scenarios were a little bit different, or maybe in the future if some of those avenues that we have available to us are not available to us any longer, what we might possibly do differently. So I'm excited about that one because it's almost like planning a hypothetical trip. But anyhow, I shared in yesterday's video the Our Walt Disney World vacation binder, or for us it's more like a folder. So I wanted to go in a little bit more detail into what our actual trip plans are, and kind of what we're planning on doing while we're there and that sort of thing. I knew that this was probably going to be a long video, so that's why I made it its own video. So we're flying down there. We're going to be there about a week. We're renting a vehicle, and at this point it should hopefully be a van. That's what we have reserved. So you know how sometimes you get down there and it's something totally different, but that's what we have reserved. We're planning on bringing the kids' car seats on the plane, and so we'll have their same car seats when we get down there, and we'll be used to how they operate and all that sort of thing. So hopefully that part goes well. I did consider the CARES restraints for the plane, but at this point I think we're going to forego that and just use the car seats, and if that goes horribly then we'll use the CARES for the future. We have 2 days that are set in stone at this point, or not really set in stone, but are more set than the other days. We're planning on at least 3 park days, and then we want to be more flexible the rest of the days. Days for shopping and beach and that sort of thing. And the big thing that my husband and I talked about going into it, that we really wanted to go into it being as flexible as we can, not having a set, we have to do this at this time, we have to do these things in the park, because we want the girls to be very organic, and as they see something and they're excited about it, then that's what we're going to go do. My husband even believes in this to the point of, if we go to a park, say Magic Kingdom, and they absolutely love that park so much, or they don't get to see everything they want to see, then we will change towards the end of our schedule. Say we're planning on going to SeaWorld one day, then we will forego possibly doing something like that and going back to the place that they really, really liked, or changing up another day, or you know what I mean. So we're going to be as flexible as possible. I'm very excited because the ages that they're at, I think it's just going to be an amazing time to go. At almost 4 years old and 2 years old, they're going to be very aware and so verbal of what's going on around them. The last time we were down there, Bella was 9 months old, and I was pregnant with Natalie. Didn't know it. And so this is going to be a different trip because both the kids are going to be so much more aware. Also, fun fact for you, I wasn't sure what video I was going to mention it in, but I guess I'll go ahead and mention it now. The past 2 times I've gone to Walt Disney World, I have come back pregnant. So I'm kind of hoping to not continue on with that tradition. So we'll see how it goes. Actually, to be more specific, the past 2 times I've gone to Walt Disney World, I was actually pregnant when I went and didn't know it either time. And that's kind of a scary statistic too, just throwing it out there. But really hoping to not continue that tradition. Anyhow, so the 2 days that we kind of have set in stone on our schedule are, we're planning on going to Magic Kingdom for sure, we're planning on going to Epcot for sure. And you guys saw the video where I got the reservations at Algerhaus Royal Dining Banquet Hall at Norway and Epcot. I was super excited about that, so we're going to be doing that princess meal. It's going to be a lunch, and we're very, very excited about that. So that day is kind of set in stone. We kind of need to be at Epcot that day. And then also, we're planning on going to Magic Kingdom one day, and we're meeting someone there, and that's kind of the day that they need to be there, that they need to go there. So that day is a little bit more set in stone as well, as far as needing to go there that day. The rest of the schedule, we want to make it as flexible as possible. If it's raining one day and that was the day we were thinking about going to the beach, then we'll flip-flop our schedule around and go do something different. So, you know, my husband and I talked, and we really want to try to be as flexible as we can within reason. So that's really how we're going into it, and just trying to let the kids have fun and just have the best experience that they can, hopefully. So as far as parks, what we're thinking about at this point is definitely Magic Kingdom, definitely Epcot, And then, like I said, the other places may be more up in the air, but my husband really likes like SeaWorld and that sort of thing. And that's someplace that when he and I went down there when we were dating in college, he really wanted to go there. So I think we probably will try to hit SeaWorld. It's one of the places he wants to go. Also, a big favorite of mine is downtown Disney. I grew up going to downtown Disney. I had a family that would go to Disney multiple times a year usually. I was usually at Disney World a few times a year, usually Easter, Christmas, that sort of thing. Pretty much any holiday we ended up at Walt Disney World. And so I feel very comfortable down there to the point where I know where most of the bathrooms are in Magic Kingdom, except for the new areas obviously. And so I feel like that kind of works in my favor, that I am so comfortable with it. It's not something extremely new for me, but what's new and exciting for me is watching the excitement and the newness on the kids' faces. I mean, that will be the whole joy this whole trip, will be seeing the kids and how excited they are. I mean, that's going to be amazing for me to watch, so I'm very excited about that. Now, the really big thing, and if you probably didn't already guess it from watching our folder video yesterday, the big thing that is different for us versus, you know, if you're just going down there and you don't know anyone else down there, we have family that lives in Orlando, so there was no space for hotel, if you guys noticed that yesterday in our book, because it's not something that we have to worry with at this point. We're lucky that my dad retired from his positions in Illinois, and when he retired he decided to winter in Florida, specifically Orlando. So I've been very lucky the past decade or so while he's been wintering down there to have a place to go visit, and I can just stay at his house whenever I'm down there. So I would routinely fly, I flew a couple times when I was getting my master's actually, to go down and visit him in Orlando, and we went on like hidden Mickey trips where we went and hunted hidden Mickeys in the different parks and that sort of thing. So it's just been a really fun experience to have that as kind of a tactical advantage almost, because not only does he have the place for us to stay, which is nice because we don't have to worry about a hotel, but he has lived in Orlando basically like half time. He's in Illinois part of the time and in Orlando part of the time, but he's basically lived in Orlando enough. He's very, very familiar with it, obviously, and knows his way around, and so probably a large part of the time we're not going to worry about driving either, which is kind of nice because he'll just say, "Dad, can you drive for us?" So we're getting the van and hopefully being able to fit everyone in, so that's part of the plan as well. We also have other family members that live down in the area. My husband's mother lives down in Naples, that area, and so we're going to be meeting her, and she's going to be coming up to Orlando, so it's going to be like kind of a big family trip as well. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic for us because it's not just like us going to Disney World, it's like us going to visit family, and oh yeah, by the way, Disney World's here too. So it's kind of fun in that way. And I do think in the future that when my dad decides to retire from being retired in Florida, which is something he's considering doing maybe in the next 5 to 10 years even, so that would mean he'd sell his place down there and he'd come back and be in Illinois more full-time. When that happens, then we'll obviously go back to being more of a regular tourist. We won't have like the place to stay in Orlando and that sort of thing. So that's why I kind of wanted to do tomorrow's video and talk about my hypothetical Disney trip of where I would stay and what I would do if I didn't have my dad's house and my dad like right there to like help us out with everything, like to get us around and all that sort of thing, because it is a lot different if you are having to drive from your hotel to get on property and pay for parking and all that sort of thing. So that does make that part of the experience very different. So for this trip we're staying at my dad's house, but I'm excited to kind of delve into tomorrow's video, talking about where I think that we would probably stay. And I think that when it gets to a point that my dad retires from being retired, he and I have the same work ethic, by the way. We like having a lot of different jobs at one time. Anyhow, whenever he no longer has his place down there, I really think that I would love to have that like all-inclusive, like stay on property, you know, stay at one of the Disney resorts, just use the monorail or Disney transportation to get around type of experience. We would probably still rent a car as well to be able to do things off property, but would love for the kids to have that experience of just being on property and staying there and all that. So that's for the future, and that's kind of like me talking about the hypotheticals tomorrow. Anyhow, back to current time. So we're going down there, and we're actually planning on going out of some smaller airports, so I'll let you know how that goes. Always before, I'd always flown into NCO, which is Orlando International. We're going into a different airport this time, so we'll see how that goes. And you know, other than that, it's going to be a pretty standard trip for us. I'm still very excited because although it's a very standard trip for me, it's not for the girls, whatsoever. So my dad actually just mailed up a huge packet of brochures. You know, all the different restaurants and everything, they have these huge racks of brochures as you're walking out of them. So my dad just like went out to breakfast one day and he grabbed me a bunch of brochures and sent them up. The girls have had so much fun going through these. They have loved going through these and looking at these. So the day that we're going to the beach, I prefer going to the beach on the east side. When we would go down there as a child, a lot of times we would stay at the same house in Lakeland. And as I got older, we no longer went there, and we I don't know that we ever stayed on the Cocoa side, but I really like driving to that side. One, it's closer to Orlando, and two, I just seem to like the beaches a little bit better. Now the water's not kind of clear because it's the open ocean. I mean, it's not like Caribbean water on either side, quite honestly, but the beaches are maybe a little bit nicer on the Clearwater side and down that line, but a lot of them are private. So unless you're staying over there, it's kind of a pain in the tush to get to a beach that's public. We stayed over there at resorts a few times when I was growing up, and that was really a lot of fun. I really liked that. It was kind of a nice change from being in the center of the state. But I think as far as visiting purposes, it's nice to go to the east side. And so we may even go past Kennedy. One of the beaches that my dad really likes going to is around this general area. They have a whole beach line that's owned by the government down the area. And so it's kind of a nice place to go to. I don't know if we'll actually go to the museum or anything, but this was also a place. I should maybe just do a video like talking about growing up, because I went to Florida a lot as a kid. I actually saw a space shuttle launch, and that was really cool. And so yeah, anyhow, I'm going off on a lot of different tangents in this video, sorry. So he just sent me a lot of different brochures. Also, the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival is going on, so that's going to be really cool. And he did send me, there's the new Fantasyland. I think this is going to be one of our favorite places to see, because obviously that will be all new to myself and my husband, in addition to the kids. And then also, we went there last time. We're not going to go this time. My husband and I talked about we're making a conscious decision to not go there. Yeah, here we go. Here's a Universal. I think the kids have pulled out all the Harry Potter ones because they like Harry Potter even though they've never seen it. The Harry Potter place at Universal, we went last time. I think the last time we were there was not too long after it was opened. It's very, very cool. If you are a Harry Potter fan, I'm a Harry Potter fan. It is a must-see. Like, it's just amazing to walk in and just see everything in real life. Hogwarts Castle, Hogsmeade, it was just amazing. So they're building on the new part, the London and the Diagon Alley. It's going to be over in the other park, the Universal Park. You have to buy a 2 parks 1 day ticket now to get in, is how they get you. But we're making a conscious decision. We're not going to be going there to see that. Kind of the conclusion or the agreement that my husband and I have come to on Harry Potter, and I agree with this 100%, is the girls don't need to watch it or really be exposed to it until they're the correct age, until they're basically the same age that Harry Potter is in the movies. It's really not age appropriate for them. So we're not, and the whole theme parks, really in my opinion, are not that age appropriate for toddlers. We took Bella at 9 months old to the Harry Potter, you know, the whole Universal Islands of Adventure. And she liked like the Dr. Seuss land, and that little part is fine for like younger kids, but when you figure you're paying park admission for the whole thing and there's really not a lot for the younger kids to do, it's really not worth it, in my husband and my opinion, to do that when they're so young. When they get grade school age and it's more age appropriate for a lot of the rides, Islands of Adventure is mainly roller coasters, so they may not even be interested in that when they get older. We'll see. There is a lot of cool like thematic things over at Universal, but it's all above their current age and will be above their current age for quite some time. So we're not going to Universal, but I would say if you have older kids, if you have kids that are very enthusiastic about Harry Potter, if you're a Harry Potter fan yourself, it is a must-see. It's amazing. I was pregnant, keep that in mind, and I didn't know it. So, you know, I was in that like emotions everywhere stage. But I literally like walked into the Harry Potter place and started crying because I was like, it's so amazing. It's totally was the pregnancy hormones. Didn't know it at the time. I was like afterwards, I did not know I was that much of a Harry Potter fan. That's kind of odd, but it was Natalie talking. So anyhow, wow, this video has taken a really odd turn. I'm supposed to be talking about our current trip, and I'm talking about like everything but. Alright, anyways, so my dad sent me down these brochures to check out. So we're going to look through all these, but I'm not going to bring any of these with us because we really don't need them. We're really familiar with the area that's down around 535, which is the Disney area, if you're from the area, down around Dr. Phillips. That's the area that we're most familiar with, and so there's like a really nice outlet mall down there and that sort of thing. I don't really want to get into it too much, but as far as my own personal opinion, I do not do anything in around the International Drive area. I just prefer not to go there, especially with kids. I'm gonna get like nasty grams from the Orlando Tourism Committee. And I don't particularly go downtown. There's nothing age appropriate for my kids downtown. There's no reason I need to be there. And the last time I was down there, someone ran a red light and hit my dad and myself in our car. We were both fine. His car was not. But so I don't like going downtown Orlando. There's Church Street Station if you have like college-age kids, but gosh, how to put this? I really don't want to get nasty grams from Orlando Tourism Committee. It's not the safest thing, in my opinion. I would not go to downtown Orlando or International Drive given the choice, even if I was younger. I would maybe do the West End at Disney if I was with a large group of friends, but I don't know. It's just different than what it used to be. This video, oh gosh, it turned into the weirdest video ever. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're going to Disney. We're going to be down there. We're staying at my dad's house. We're going to be at Disney a couple days. We're going to do a different park that will not be Universal. It'll probably be SeaWorld a different day. We're going to leave days open. If the kids want to go to Magic Kingdom another day, more power to them. We're definitely going to be going to downtown Disney a number of times because that is like my favorite place on the planet. It's free parking. It's so relaxing just to walk around. I love it. Let me know if you have any questions down below. I feel like this video got wildly off topic. Hopefully you enjoyed it anyways, but thanks so much for watching and have a great day.